It's a great start this morning, especially watching all those picks that took place yesterday. And there are two Central Indiana natives, Lawrence North and Westfield. So congratulations. We got a little love from Central Indiana.
Going to send our love to New York a little bit too. The Jets fans probably excited getting Omar Cooper.
For sure. But later today, we do have some scattered storms. Once they're done, we have a stunning weekend ahead. Lots of sun and 70s on the way. It's going to be beautiful.
I like the sound of that on a Friday night.
For sure. Let's time out some of those storms for you. Right now, we're dry. We're in the 50s and 60s this morning. I would say more 60s and 50s. A lot of us are running a couple degrees warmer this morning than yesterday morning. If you look off in the distance, though, some clouds are starting to increase as our next system does approach, but we're still dry out there this morning. It's all in Illinois. I'll show you the radar in a moment. Right now, 60s. Farther to the north is 60 in Marion. Good morning in Muncie, 64. Not a bad start in Jay County, 65. 65 also in Monticello. Logansport, 63. 63 reporting there in Eagle Creek and around Zionsville this morning. Low 60s around Newcastle to Cambridge City. 52, though, a little cool in Richmond. 59 in Brownsburg. Good morning in Shelbyville. It's 58 and 63. Not bad for a start in Bloomington this morning. Here's your school day forecast. We're all going to head to work and school fine. There could be a stray shower by our western state line later this morning, but really I think it's more towards lunchtime and recess. A lot of teachers and school corporations are going to be watching, okay, is the rain coming in yet? We'll have some scattered showers approaching to see if it's outdoor or indoor later today. But by the time you're headed home, expect more of a stormy afternoon. Scattered storms will be out there, and that rain chance will go up. I'd say your sweet spot for some scattered storms, generally from west to east, be about 2 o'clock to 6 or 7. Front end farther west, back end farther to the east. But coming up, we're going to show you the radar. We'll walk through your severe zones, and we'll show you when those rain and storms will be arriving. Let's talk traffic this morning as you're headed out the door. No big crashes or accidents. We're flowing pretty fine. Conditions are dry. A lot of green on these maps. We'll keep a close eye on construction zones, but so far in the northeast side, crews have been working on really hard overnight last night. Not just here, but all across Indiana because the weather's been fine. So traffic's moving fine there, and we're going to keep a close eye on I-70 West coming there at the north split, coming into downtown Indianapolis where you go down to 2 lanes. So far, no backup just yet. Julia?
Matt, thank you. And as he has mentioned, there are many construction projects that you may hit on your morning drive.
There are more than 1,000 projects statewide. This comes as National Work Zone Awareness Week wraps up. Our Anna Chalker is live this morning after being in one of those zones overnight, watching how NDOT is really working to keep their crews safe. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. It was really interesting to see what they do when they're hands-on going through their days. And the morning rush starting to pick up behind us here at 465-74 on the southeast side. And I can understand, and I totally get it. You feel like there's a construction project everywhere you go. Well, there is. And a big reason for that is a lot of these crews, they're actually bouncing around and not staying in just one spot in one shift alone. So let's show you that crew that we hung out with around midnight this morning here on a bridge. They were fixing the joints to make part of it more flexible when cars are driving over it. And since they do move around, the risk of being on a new path with some unaware drivers really increases. And they are one of the many reasons why National Work Zone Awareness Week takes place every year. And in fact, 16 people were killed and 1,500 were injured in work zones around the state last year. Some of those factors include distracted driving and speeding, and that'll ramp up at night.
These are people that are working in times of low visibility, whether it's night, and then if you add anything like rain, fog, snow, it just makes visibility even more limited. And a lot of times they're working just behind a couple of barrels because they're doing something real quick. They're doing important work, but they're doing dangerous work. We want our employees to get home the same way they came into work. That's our #1 goal.
And NDOT is already reporting crashes in their work zones for this year, and their biggest advice is just to remain distracted free if you're going to be driving around, and use social media or other alerts to know when and how long the zone will be up in your area, especially if they're going to be moving through the overnight hours. And because of these crews here in the dark, you got to be able to see them, especially miles away, and that's where some new equipment comes into play. So coming up, we're going to show you what that looks like and see if you can spot them, even though it's going to be through video, if you'll be able to see them as you're driving through on the state's interstate.
We hope so. We'll check in with you soon, Anna. Thank you.
Well, this morning we're going through a 7-page class action lawsuit filed by students and staff against Martin University for breach of contract.
It comes after the university's abrupt closing at the end of last year. The complaint claims the school failed to provide adequate educational opportunities as promised, and they say this led to the financial loss and loss of opportunity for advanced degrees. Martin University paused operations December of 2025 and failed to reopen the next semester. We're reaching out to the former president and board of trustees for comment on this lawsuit.
A parent is heading to prison because he didn't secure his loaded gun, and his 2-year-old daughter got access to it with a devastating result. 2-year-old Harmony Anderson found her father's gun on top of a shoe rack in July of last year. The toddler shot herself in the torso and died. 23-year-old Leonte Anderson pleaded guilty to a level 3 felony neglect charge and reduced from a level 1. Anderson received a 4-year prison sentence and 2 years of probation.
The Clinton County Sheriff and his wife are once again asking for a change of venue before their trial next month. Richard and Ashley Kelly, they're charged with official misconduct in a case from March of 2022. In this case, they're accused of misusing jail commissary funds. This motion for a change of venue says they can no longer receive a fair trial in Clinton County. They cite public hostility against them and outrage over the charges that they are now facing in Marion County. In that case, prosecutors say they lied to Indiana State Police to collect around $50,000 in disability payments.
Well, this morning, a costly mistake impacting taxpayers all across Indiana.
So there was a new audit that finds nearly $200 million in improper payments. This points to serious problems with state oversight. Marina Silva is looking through the limited public findings in that audit this morning. Tell us what you found, Marina. Good morning.
Well, good morning. The FSSA secretary is calling this a significant mistake. Audits of 5 high-risk providers in the home and community-based services attendant care program uncovered nearly $200 million in improper payments from January 1st, 2022 through March 31st of 2025. Now, the department said these audits were initiated when the program costs increased by more than $150 million between 2021 and 2022. Now, that's something that the secretary said was out of bounds. Now, the State Department says they're increasing oversight.
Trust but verify. We've done a little too much trusting and not quite enough verifying.
The auditors said they found widespread issues, including missing criminal background checks for caregivers, billing for services that are not allowed under the program, little or no documentation to support claims, and care provided that did not match what was approved. Now, that program is designed to help people with daily tasks like bathing and eating and mobility at home. It doesn't provide any medical services. But coming up, you'll hear from advocates how they said this confirms some of the long-standing issues that they had brought up and what the state says they're doing to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Okay, we'll see you then, Marina. Thank you.